For the last 2 months, our KCRG TV 999 investigative team has reported about problems within the state's parole system. It's part of our ongoing investigative series we call Released Too Soon. And tonight, we're going to show you how a man pleaded guilty to vehicular homicide in the death of a 22-year-old woman. But Brian Cornwell spent less than 10 years in prison. I-9 reporter Ethan Stein joins us live in studio to explain how that happened.
Beth, Jim, this is Caitlin Leakley. The man who killed her in a crash in Black Hawk County received a 32-year prison sentence. Less than 10 years later, the killer was released on parole. Leakley's mom feels like the decision took away her family's closure.
She was a people person.
Jennifer Leakley Hodges won't ever forget her daughter, Caitlin.
She'd get in your heart, and once she's in your heart, she's there. Like, even if she got into a fight with you, she would still have your back.
And she won't ever forget the call she got in 2013.
I remember the exact words are you Kate Leakley's mom? I didn't even have to go anything further. My heart dropped, phone dropped.
Caitlin died at the hospital. A pickup truck crossed the center line and hit a motorcycle carrying Caitlin. She had a massive internal brain injury, and the pickup truck driver had a blood alcohol content at .214, more than twice the legal limit. Caitlin's mom remembers seeing her in the hospital.
It's etched in my brain. I mean, it's just, I can't even explain it. It's 10 years and I can still picture every single thing.
Records show the driver pled guilty to multiple crimes after the crash, including homicide by vehicle. He was sentenced to 32 years in prison, but 10 years later, he was released early on parole.
When somebody's life is taken, that's where the punishment needs to be the punishment. You know, you took somebody's life.
The driver was able to get out because his mandatory minimum expired. State law allows inmates the chance to get released early unless they have a mandatory minimum or a life sentence. The driver had neither, allowing 3 members of the Board of Parole to make a judgment call to release him early. Black Hawk County attorney Brian Williams says the parole board shortening sentences is common, especially when somebody is killed in a car crash. But he says it's frustrating to explain a sentence given won't likely end up being fully served due to parole.
What's the most frustrating part about this for you as a prosecutor?
Explain it to victims. 100%. Explain it to victims. The indeterminate sentencing is hard. It's hard to explain to individuals as it is, right? You hear somebody gets a 10-year sentence. They don't get a 10-year sentence.
Regardless the sentence, Jennifer Leakley Hodges knows nothing will bring back her daughter.
Little events come up and it just floods me.
And will remain scared every day.
I just have to worry the fact that he's back out on the street in the same town as my other children. So now I get to worry every day that my kids are in a car and is, you know, yes, I know there's other people that are drinking and driving out there too, but he's the one that's already killed one of my kids.
State law says the decision to release an inmate is a judgment call. Data shows the board makes the judgment call more than 11,000 times each year. In past cases, board chair Nick Davis told us the board makes the best decisions it can with the information available to it. Now, we did not find anything illegal about this case, but our I-9 team has found other issues within the parole system in the past over the past 2 months, like an inmate ineligible for parole getting released early. A former Board of Parole member told us about hundreds of illegal decisions occurred. She also believed board members didn't read cases because decisions were made in seconds. We also found emails showing parole officers concerned with decisions from the Board of Parole. Our I-9 team also found an inmate violating conditions of his parole multiple times before causing a deadly car crash. You can read and watch those stories on our YouTube page or online. In studio, Ethan Stein, KCRG TV 9 News.